Is there anywhere in your life that you're hiding? If so, what would it look like or what would happen if you stopped? Yep, we're going to jump right into it. I am excited to be back with you, and I am glad that we are having this conversation. If you hear my fan in the background, that's part of the conversation today. I need it. But today, let's talk about the price of pretending and what hiding has cost you. Now, I know the buzzwords are things like imposter syndrome, soft girl era, fake it till you make it. I'm saying fake it till you make it. But honestly, hiding and pretending are going hands in hand. And as you know, I took somewhat of a sabbatical from YouTube and the podcast. Not because I didn't want to, or that I wanted to, or that I was pretending or hiding. But what it was, the area where I was pretending, is that I hadn't just shifted my entire life a year prior. So going from working a 9 to 5, yes, I had started my podcast before I quit. I was an author before I quit my previous career. But then going into not working and now shifting into another career, like all those iterations of change back to back to back, you start to pretend that you're okay while you're figuring it out. And I also was going through physical changes along with all those iterations, like physical health changes, like um, finding out that I'm postmenopausal and what all the symptoms and signs were that I thought just needed a little bit more caffeine and a little bit more sleep. But there were other deficiencies that I needed to address so that I can be full and show up as myself. And what does it look like to show up as yourself? Like, what do you do when you're figuring it out and you want to be the best version of you can be to serve, share, love, encounter, grow as a person, and do all the things? But you can master showing up and still be empty inside. And that's what I want to talk about. That's what part of the price, like why we hide, what we're hiding, and sometimes who we're hiding from. And that can also be ourselves. Like we don't know the cost of the work it'll be for us to show up in the way we truly need to. Like you can show up and perform because that's part of the pretending. You learn how to perform in survival mode. But what about showing up authentically? That's a different area and way to thrive. But as a high achiever, you know, you learn early on, to be accepted, to avoid rejection. If I would just do the right things, if I perform how they want me to perform, if I just show up how they want me to show up, everybody else will be happy. I'll still be empty inside. It still won't feel good, but everybody else will be pleased. And we don't want that. That is too high of a price to pay because our peace is expensive. And if we keep pretending, that's the thing that we're paying with is our peace. First and foremost. Yeah, in other ways, like financially, it'll impact you eventually. Emotionally, it'll impact you. As your health, it'll impact you physically. But your peace in all of that, in here and in here, where you're clear and you're safe and you have all the things that you need to be whole to keep it together. but you're exhausted. You know you can't function the way you're functioning and call yourself healthy. You just can't. You are constantly drained. You are hurting. You're starting to build resentment because of the exhaustion and the saying yes when you really want to say no. You're disconnected. So, and that's not just from people, that's from yourself. You don't even know if you coming or going, let alone trying to show up for somebody else. And then, guess what? You miss joy, you miss the peace, and you miss your authenticity. So, what do? You stop pretending, stop overcommitting, you stop overthinking, no more hyper independence and emotional detachment. You come back to yourself, check in, see how you are doing. And sometimes that means pressing pause on all the things. Yeah, you still gotta work, still gotta raise your kids, take care of home, all the things. But you have to take something off your plate, whatever that thing is, or make space. Maybe you still do all the things, but you don't do them as much. Or maybe you do all the things, but in your schedule, you create a window where you have 1 hour, 30 minutes a day to yourself, for you can clear your mind and think and see to the next day or the next moment. Because we can get so caught up in doing that we don't realize that we're deteriorating on the inside. Do, deteriorate, until there's nothing left. Then you wonder why you having a nervous breakdown, or why you snapped on that person who only said 2 words to you and they may have been hello or how are you. And you lost it because that was it. You couldn't take it anymore. But it's because you have given way too much of you. You can't even talk about how you feel or what you feel. You didn't have the words to begin with, and now you don't have the energy to go with it. So you need to use your full emotional vocabulary and express yourself. Not just sad, glad, happy, mad, but full extension of how you actually feel. I'm burnt out. I'm discouraged. I'm exhausted. I'm betrayed. I feel betrayed. I'm self sabotaging because I don't want to fully show up. Because sometimes the getting honest about how you feel is to tell yourself. I took a step back because I didn't know, like, going back to a 9 to 5, I had did it before, but that didn't mean that that was the thing I wanted to be doing. Like, everybody says, oh, you can give your job 8 hours, you can give your business 8 hours, and you can do this. But when you sit down and you take out that 24-hour clock and you put 6 to 8 hours for sleep, already gone. Already gone. Then you do prep and get ready for work, your morning routine and your night routine and your commute. Get at another 2 hours. Then you're at work for 8 hours. It's another 8 hours gone. So more than half of your day is already gone. Then you think about kids, spouse, time for yourself, parents, maybe you're taken care of, or maybe you're not, you just want to spend time with friends or whatever. Where are you in those 24 hours on your schedule? How are you checking in with you? Taking the mask off, really getting real about what's happening, what's going on with you, and why. Because for me, like I said, the fatigue, the energy levels, the brain fog, the disconnection to what I needed to be doing versus what I was doing, just passing the time and showing up for everybody else. And then I'm in college. Like, I have all these things that are on my plate, but they can be on there like a very well laid out meal. But you have to know your capacity and get honest about how to move those things around, how to check in physically. If you find there's something wrong that's beyond, getting a good nap or drinking some caffeine or getting your vitamin B's in, then you need to talk to somebody, like a doctor. You need to do some research, check out your symptoms. I put apps on my phone that helped me realize that menopause was beyond my, I'm surgically induced menopausal, and now I'm at the stage of postmenopausal. And I had some blood work done to be able to better inform myself of how to take care of me. And now my energy levels are better. My enthusiasm is back. My excitement for what I need to be doing, my energy level is up. I got some vitamin D in my life, some vitamin K in my life. I got some supplements that help me with night sweats and things like that. So I'm resting better and I'm taking care of me. And then I adjusted my schedule. I went in and I looked at what does it look like to work a 9 to 5, be a college student, an entrepreneur, a mom, and maybe somebody's future wife real soon. So what does it look like to do all those things and do it well and healthy? Not just be excellent and have success, but to do it well, to do it healthy, to do it not with ambition, but with, as God has lovingly told me in the past and reminded me recently, to do it at the productivity of peace. At the productivity of peace. Yes, checking all the boxes, getting all the things done is awesome. It's great. But doing things at the productivity of peace is best. What does it look like for you? Not how social media tells you how to do it, or society, or even the people that surround you, your community. Maybe you've been doing it that way and you think it's working, but you know you're running on empty. Maybe everybody else on the outside is looking at the bags and the cars and the opportunities and the stages and the microphones you on and all the platforms. And like, oh my God, you're killing it. You're doing your thing. But you're literally killing it. You're dying inside for the success that you believe you have. And what is success if you're miserable on the inside? Is that success? The number in your bank account is more important than how your heart feels, your mental clarity, your well being? I don't think so. And you know it's not. You know it's not worth it. You know it's not healthy. And you know you're not happy. Because it's one thing to have financial success, tangible items, keeping up with the Joneses is all cute until somebody doesn't wake up or you collapse from a heart attack because you're not taking care of yourself, because everybody thinks all it is just eating better and working out. And it's not. Your mental and emotional health is a part of your overall holistic wellness. And if you don't take care of your heart and your mind, being fine and crazy, hurting yourself, ripping and running, being ambitious, running around here like a chicken with your head cut off, just because your heart can physically stand it doesn't mean it can stand it emotionally. People have died from broken hearts. It is not healthy to continue on a path like that. What was my turning point? I wanted this. I missed y'all. I missed my podcast. I missed recording. And I was like, I got to figure this out because I want to get back to the work that God has assigned to me and that I love. So what do I need to do? So I did all those things. I got the vitamins and the treatments and the blood work and the things I needed. But I also did an assessment of myself, a self-assessment of myself to figure out what was important to me, what did I need to make a priority, how did I need to adjust my schedule, and why, because why matters. Because if you don't know why you want to do something and you're just doing it because that's the thing to do, or it's the end thing to say or be, it's not worth it. You want to give yourself the room, the capacity to be your best self. Sometimes you're doing things that you don't need to be doing anymore. Maybe the podcast was a bad idea. Maybe the YouTube channel is not for you. Maybe going after that new promotion is not for you. It just sounds good. It just looks good on paper. But I'm here to tell you, if it's not right and this is what it's costing you, You need to reevaluate it. God is not disappointed in the version of you that's tired of pretending. I'm going to say it again. God is not disappointed in the version of you that's tired of pretending. You don't have to want more to want to be better. Let that sink in. You don't have to want more to be better. I made adjustments. Adjustments may not be your thing. It may be something that you need to just smooth cut off or somebody. But God is not disappointed in the version of you that's tired of pretending. You can take the mask off. You can put down all the spinning plates. You can take time for yourself. You matter to God most. And you have to matter to you too. Embrace the truth that healing requires honesty, not perfection. Get real about what you want, who you want to be, and how you want to show up and why. That's right. Let's get clear. Who are you? How you want to show up and why. Because that's going to be the guide, the roadmap to where you're going and who you want to show up as and why you want to show up that way. But you have to get honest. You can't keep pretending and hiding behind the success, behind all the things, that you think are what you're supposed to have, do, be, or say. Get real. Embrace the truth that healing requires honesty, not perfection. I want you to be well. I want you to be healthy mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. But you can't do that if you're pretending and hiding. You got to stop pretending. You got to show up. And I asked a question at the start of this podcast. Is there anything anywhere in your life that you're hiding? What would happen if you stopped? That is the page I turned to when I sat down to get this podcast and episode going. And it is in my new journal, the Bear Companion Journal. And that reflection is from page 79 in Bear. And it's called Within, because that's where you need to go in order to get honest. And that snippet says, self exploration is such a beautiful experience. Your hands should be the first to hold your heart. If we did as much work on it as we do on the outside, there'd be no hang-ups that make us want to hide. And it's called Within. This is my notes cover, but it's page 79 in Bear. And the prompt is in the companion journal for you to write down what you think that might be for you. And at the bottom of the page it says show up. And on the other side it says your tears matter to God. So if you think the transition of coming out of hiding and pretending is going to be painful and emotional, God can handle your tears. He's okay with you being honest about how you feel and why you feel that way. If you feel like your family is counting on you, and what would you do if you stopped and everybody might be let down? But what if it works out? What if you stop pretending and hiding and you show up authentically as yourself, and you be surprised at how God blows your mind and opens other doors to the things and opportunities that you truly want that will fill you up because you've made room for them. Sometimes we don't have everything we want or don't get to experience all we desire because we've got so many other things that we think we're supposed to be having or doing or being or saying in the way of the thing that God really wants us to be doing, being, having, and saying. But once you make space, once you open your heart, your mind, and your calendar, you can see what God really has for you and what He needs from you in order for you to be well and Him to get the glory and be seen, heard in the earth. So remember, you can stop hiding. God is okay with you being the version of you that needs to come out of pretending and hiding. And get clear on who you are, how you want to show up, and why. And if you haven't already, definitely get your copy of the Bear Companion Journal. If you haven't, well, if you haven't got a copy of this mirror, if you haven't got a copy of Bear, by all means do so. But if you have, and you like a companion to go along with what's came up for you, how if you feel, what you might feel as you read through it, the companion journal is definitely for you. And also, you could go through it with the prompts without the book, but the book makes it better because there's a reference to every area with each prompt. When you date it and you write, what are you most excited about letting go of now, leaving survival mode? Coming out of hiding. And that's from reference of page 115 in Bear under Pick Your Poison. So that's just the Holy Spirit give me a random page to land on that goes directly with this. So like I said, if you haven't gotten your copy of the Bear Companion Journal, by all means, do so at NiccoleNelson.com. That's NICCOLENELSON.com/bear. And until next time, love well.